Hola familia! That's right. They say wherever you go, take your whole self with you. So whenever you go somewhere and you take your whole self with you, people feel it. You don't even have to say a word. Doesn't matter if you don't speak English or Spanish or whatever language that is. People are just attracted to you. You're a people magnet. Today I'll share with you about scintillating self-leadership. I'm a farm boy from the sugarcane fields of Guatemala who grew up in a family where there was a path traced for me as I was born. By the time I should be 10 years old, I should be in third grade. By the time I would be 15 years old, I should be in ninth grade. By the time I'm 20 years old, I should be, I should be in a job in the field. Probably harvesting mango, probably harvesting bananas, or working in the sugarcane field, just like I actually did. By 25 years old, I should be by then married and hopefully have a kid. By 30 years old, I should have at least two kids or three, because us Latinos have big families, big familias, and I'm pretty proud of it too. I had 11 uncles and aunts in my family. I I actually don't know all my cousins' names. They're too many to remember. But I'll share with you today how this farm boy from the sugarcane fields of Guatemala, who used to wake up at 5 a.m., go milk a cow every day, and then go to work in the fields, I've used my I've used my scintillating self-leadership skills where I use my own brilliance, my own cleverness, my own wittiness to make it from the sugarcane fields of Guatemala to Silicon Valley to work for some of the biggest global tech companies in the world. This big smile is my million dollar smile. That's what made it happen. This is my grandmother, Doña Elena Sarceño Ruiz. And I hear a lot in personal development and self-development. Wherever you go, just be yourself. Don't be no one else. And that way you can be the best version of yourself. So I always take my own story as an asset to leverage that to be able to go to my next step, to the next step, to the next step. And so my grandmother instilled in me, be a good man, work really, really hard, and get educated. So moving on forward, in my teenage years, my mother, Veronica Aviles, brought me to the United States, all the way from the sugarcane fields of Guatemala, and here I find myself working in a warehouse, box after box after box every day for about a year and a half before I was able to join high school to be able to learn to speak English. And if you can hear my accent, say I. Those that didn't say I, you liars. I can hear it too, but I can tell you this, that I may speak with an accent, but I don't think with an accent. My scintillating self-leadership skills needed to be honed. They needed to be developed. They needed to be packaged in a way that was attractive for these big tech companies because milking cows wasn't going to do it. So I applied and was accepted to an organization called Year Up, where I learned my soft skills, how to leverage them, how to grow them, how to hone them. Where I was equipped with my hard skills, where I could say I can be able to do this data, track this data, make these results happen for you, and where I can take my own attitude and be able to make my own opportunities happen for myself. But I needed the aptitude to be able to help me get there. And once I graduated in that organization, my good friends, this farm boy from the sugarcane fields of Guatemala, who used to milk cows, who used to have the skills but they weren't developed yet, who used to have a lot of potential, a lot of grits, a lot of experience and working really hard. After graduating, I became a professional. But I had to be clever about it. I had to be bright about it. I had to be audacious. I had to be someone who was driven. I had to be someone who would see the opportunity and take advantage of it, work towards it, and grab it. After applying and graduated, I joined Salesforce, one of the biggest global tech companies in the world. There, I learned what it really takes from the inside out. How can somebody come from a third world country, be able to speak English with an accent, and still make it? Once joining that company, I said, I'm going to join another big tech company. So I decided to work for Uber. And when I applied to working on self-driving technology at Uber, they asked me during the interview, if you were to name our self-driving vehicle, what would you name it? And this is where scintillating leadership, your self-leadership comes in, because you begin to leverage everything, right? Everything you don't have and everything you have. So I told her a story. I said, when I was about 10 years old, my mom bought me a cow. This is my cow, Angela. I'm a cowboy because I used to ride cows. See what I mean? I said, and Angela was a baby cow. So when I was little, someone killed my father, so I grew up without a father. So whenever I will feel alone, I will feel with low self-esteem. I would feel that I had no energy. I would go and talk to my best friend, Angela. She was the greatest listener I've ever met in my life. Never talked back to me. I'm glad she didn't, because I would be like, oh my goodness. I said to the interviewer, so if I were to name the self-driving vehicle, I would I would want people to feel safe when they were with it and feel at peace. So I would name the vehicle Angelo instead of Angela, right? And she looked at me a little bit in shock and said, "Oh my goodness! I've interviewed so many people for this role, and nobody has ever come up with a unique response like yours." I looked at her. I said, "That means I must be the one." Clever, brilliant, and unique. The next day, I received the email employment offer. A few days later, I began working for Uber. So I said, I need more education. I applied to Harvard Business School online. I put out my wallet, paid for the application, and waited 2 weeks, desperately, anxiously, saying to myself, will I make it? Will this farm boy from Sugarcane Fields of Guatemala make it? I put on there that I already work for some of the biggest tech companies of the world. I put on there that I already self-published 5 books. I put on there that I travel around the United States motivating the youth. And I think that's what made it happen. Because 2 weeks later, I was accepted to Harvard Business School online. And I said to myself, okay, Ovi, you're using your self leadership. You're creating your own path around the path that someone else created for you. Because the vision that they had was not as big as your vision now with the education and drive and connections that you have, especially the skill set and the mindset. So I decided to take a moment and listen to other people. This is one of my mentors, Ricardo Gonzalez. Takes his time to give me some advice. So as you're taking your self-leadership skills to creating your own path and exploring your own way to success, to be a good man, to work really, really hard, and to be educated, take a moment to listen to somebody who's already a few steps or many steps ahead of you. So I listened to my other mentors, Victor Antonio. And then the path that they drew for me at the age of 25, I should have been married and have a baby. So I was 25 and I was not married and I didn't have a baby. But now I'm 28 and I'm married and I have a beautiful baby. Her name is Amy. She looks just like my wife. See how beautiful she is? Then I said to myself, already, Ovi, you already discover consciously that you can be brilliant and clever about the self-leadership skills that you possess. How can you go out there and share with others the same path, the same way, the same strategy, the same skill set, the same mindset. Because it takes a lot of things for you to put them together, to explore your own way to success around or on the side of the path that someone else drew for you. So I go across the United States speaking to middle schools and high schools and colleges and universities, sharing exactly that, exactly what it took for me to speak with an accent, to be grown up without a father, to go to put myself through high school. I share with them exactly the exact steps. And that's when you know your self leadership is impacting somebody else. They say if you can lead yourself in the right way to the right place, now you can lead others. This is the path that I created for me. At 11 years old, I was in third grade. At 15 years old, I dropped out of school at sixth grade and began working in the field. At 20 years old, I graduated high school here in Hayward, California. Well, we're in Los Gatos, California, but you know what I mean. And I was working at a warehouse, box after box after box. I worked there so many years, I got built up. My nickname was Six Pack. I still got it. Still got it. At 25 years old, I had published 5 books, graduated year up, and I joined Salesforce, one of the biggest global tech companies in the world, as I mentioned, because I discovered that I can be brilliant about what I didn't have and about what I have. And I can lead my own self to where I wanted to go to be successful in life and in school. At 28 years old, I stand here before you, married, father of my 1 year old baby, and I want to leave you with this, that if you can take full possession of your scintillating self leadership and lead yourself in the right way to the right place, you can become successful if you're still in school. And if you're not in school anymore, successful in life. It has been a pleasure.